My name is Angela Two Stars. I am a member of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate, and I am a public artist, curator, and also the director of all my relations arts in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was invited to participate in the Wakpa Triennial through Public Art St. Paul, and the theme for the Wakpa Festival was Network of Mutuality, and I thought about how Metamorphosis would be a perfect piece to communicate a network of mutuality. Metamorphosis has been the phase 2 of the initial concept that was installed at the corner of Lake Street and Minnehaha in 2021. That was called the transition stage, where it was a 12-foot cocoon that was filled with mottos of strength from the community that was impacted after the uprisings in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd. And it was a way of reconnecting the community, helping them start rebuilding and healing from the just neighborhood devastation. And that was one of the things that was important to me, that people needed to be a part of something. They needed to kind of physically be connected to something that expressed what they were feeling. When we did the transition stage, we had people that were literally using shovels and digging into the ground, just that manual physical expression of the mourning that they were feeling, and that desire to do something. And then post installation of the transition stage, that community connection continued, and so there was more events, there was more art, there was more art engagement experiences. There was also murals that were installed along Lake Street, and so that is where we decided we would have the Metamorphosis piece. I talked with Pangea World Theater and asked if we could do Metamorphosis for the Wakpa Festival, and they requested that I use this new space, which is where their outdoor plaza will be. And it was the former site of the Migizi building, which was a Native youth communications and tech center, and it burned down during the uprisings. So I wanted to have it transition into a butterfly. This is basically a sketch that's not in a sketchbook, but this is how I was envisioning a large two-sided art piece that was a collection of all of the community's contributions that would make up the back side of this large artwork. And then the front side would be a butterfly scene. I asked people to come to the community events we held and design butterflies, which shows kind of how this neighborhood has gone through that metamorphosis. And it was the first time that Pangea, Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, and staff saw this collective work of everybody's contributions in one piece. And that was super meaningful. When the piece was installed on the site, when it was raised up, and then we could come around the backside and see everybody's works, and that was, I think, really emotional. And there was 3 of us artists that were all in the same kind of section of town. Myself and Javier Tavera were, kind of right next to each other on the same lots, and it's really, I think, shared how meaningful this location was and is, and we will develop it to continue to be the strong neighborhood. I kind of needed that community again, because as I was going through this design process, I was also experiencing a very deep grief because I had lost my younger sister in December, and I was in a deep mourning, but also trying to continue living and learning how to live with that grief. Art has always been a place of healing for me. It's a place where I can go and everything else quiets down. And I think that shares this strong message about how art is this vessel for healing from difficult experiences. And like with the statements that people were writing was, maybe it was something that would be helpful to you in your experience, that somebody else had written, a motto of strength that you could connect to and that you needed to hear at that time. And so I think that was a helpful thing for me to bring that work back during a time that I needed it. To be able to meet with people and visit with people and have them share their vulnerabilities, their stories, their time. I think that was really special, and I really appreciate the community for coming out and making the beautiful work that it is.